go ahead and push record
Okay.
so that I can share this. I didn't get it done last time, but I'm definitely going to do that this time. I wanted to share my story of how
Yeah.
I started doing earth activations, and then in actually doing the activations, I started to learn things
Mm.
from the earth. And it was just this unfolding of the things that were coming up and out of the ground and what it's here for. And as I was discovering the similarities, I realized that a lot of other people that do different kinds of activations, a lot of people who do other kinds of activations were getting the same information, even though they weren't connecting with Earth, they were connecting with something else. So it's all the same.
Yeah.
It just depends on where on where you decide to focus your energy. Hi, Anna.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
Right.
So I was just telling Farah how I started to do earth activations and I began to learn things from the earth. And I wanted to share my story. And then I want people to understand what earth codes are. And that because next time I want to do an earth activation and then hopefully have questions and clarifications for people before we go into the activation. And I was working with a coach back at the time who did wealth activations, and she did it with the earth, but she focused on abundance,
Mm.
primarily financial abundance. And I had gone through this period of time where I was really depressed and I didn't know what I was going to do. And I went to a land retreat in Santa Fe, New Mexico. And I don't know, Farah, I know that you likely have not been to New Mexico, but Anna, I don't know where in the world you are. Where are you?
I am actually in Ohio,
You're
but
in Ohio.
I am, but I've never visited New Mexico either.
Okay.
I haven't made it that far yet. Mm.
Well, we have potential to actually meet each other in person because I'm in Eastern Kentucky and I love Ohio.
Oh, that's
So,
awesome.
yeah. Yeah, so we're not that far. It's like from anywhere in Ohio is like a 5 or 6 hour drive. So for me and closer.
Oh, I love that. And I was going to say, I think Eastern Kentucky, well, depending on where you are, is about 4.5 hours from where I'm at because I'm up like a suburb of Cleveland. So I'm like,
Okay.
more the northern
Yeah, yeah. I've been to
center, I
Cleveland.
guess, of Ohio.
Yeah, I've been up to Cleveland. Cleveland's a great city.
That's awesome that you're so close. I love that.
Yeah. Anyhow, back to New Mexico. I don't want to lose my continuity because then I forget to say things. So New Mexico is very magical and it's very big and open and high desert type of topography. And I went for this land retreat there and we were meditating with the land and it was so soothing for me that I began doing more of it. And what came out of that was how much humanity has forgotten to be connected with the land. And while we were there, how grateful the land was for us
Oh,
to reconnect. And because, you know, she wants to be here for us. That's her purpose. She's like our mother.
yeah.
And mothers want to take care of their children. And they don't necessarily have to be loved back in return, just respected and treated with a give and receive type of energy, and there's a lot of taker energy that goes on with the earth. So instead of receiving from her what is there to just naturally bubble up and out, we take what we want, and it's often not really what the earth has to give. So when we get back and get connected with the earth, then um, we can actually create a synergy with her that allows us to receive even more than what we thought we were getting when we were taking, if that makes sense.
Mm.
So it's working in alignment, and not just energetically, but physically in the way that we receive resources and do our farming, receive our food and our building materials and all those kinds of things. And when I was working with a wealth coach and she's doing these activations, we're going all these great places, we're going to Puerto Rico and we're going to the Bahamas and we went to Australia and we went to London and we did the traditional England things with standing stones and everything. And I thought, well, I can do this. I don't have to I don't have to do activations her way. I was basically brought out of my depression by my connection with the earth. I was still working on it, but I was so much better. And I went to a retreat in Ireland on my birthday one year. And after I did that, I took off on my own and went to explore. And I went to the Wicklow Mountains and I was in the Wicklow Gap, and that's where I did my first earth activation. I thought, I'm going to do one right here. And I was really nervous about it, even though there was nobody else around, and I didn't know what was going to happen. And I didn't know if it was going to make any kind of difference with anything. And I just did it, and I recorded it. So somewhere, stored somewhere, I have that audio. And um it just started that way, and I started doing them wherever I felt called. And what began to be repeated, and there was a specific order to it, was that there were codes that the earth has, and they were ease and grace, cooperation and collaboration, abundance and sovereignty. And they work in that order. So
Uh,
you receive ease and grace first when you start to work with the earth and you be in your connection with the earth, and you bring trust into your life, and the ease and grace just seeps in. And when you are in ease and grace, it makes cooperation and collaboration a whole lot easier. And when you start to cooperate and collaborate, that's when the abundance happens. And this is with anything. So
yeah.
these are the things that come up with anything. And when you have abundance and all those other things that come before it, sovereignty follows. So sovereignty is basically the human evolution goal that the earth has for us and what she has to support us. And in addition to that, those things always coming up and out. Sometimes I would find something extra, there was some kind of tool there that could be used for um, um, basically shielding yourself, or in your meditations you could astral travel, you could go somewhere that has more wisdom for us to receive from, that is kind of like what Neil calls the ETs. I think that's
Mm.
how he would frame that, because that's what was coming in, was okay, this is a direct link to like a yeah, what is the word I'm looking for? Like a Stargate to somewhere else. And
Yeah.
I know that when I was in Australia and we went to Uluru and we went to Kata Tjuta, which is the lesser known, but it's where the indigenous people actually conduct their ceremony now because Uluru has gotten it is too populated by tourists all the time, even though it's you have to treat it with respect, no photos and you can't take photos of Uluru when you're in the park, and you can't take photos of the Aboriginal art when you're inside looking at it. But what they have is this connection with the Pleiades. When you go in there and you look at their paintings, it's like they have everything in them. Everything that ever is, was, or will be is in their artwork, and it's
Mm.
all these patterns and dots and things. Except sometimes you go around and there's a painting of the Pleiades. That's the only thing that they paint. It seems like that isn't a bunch of dots. And there's this direct link with Kata Juta, and I felt it like big time. And um, I'm not sure if I shared this story. And now I think I shared this story with somebody in here during a recording. But what happened was when we went to Uluru first, and then we went to Kata Juta, and I felt this presence of these kind of tall, skinny beings with these sort of triangular faces following us out. And I'm like, "Who are you?" And they're like, "Oh, we're fine. It's okay. We're just like escorting you, right? We're just escorting you back to your car." And I feel they were Pleiadians because later, when we got to where we were going to sit down to eat, after a 2-hour drive, we had a table with a piece of artwork over it with those creatures dancing around a campfire. And exactly as I saw them, they were dancing around a campfire. And I feel like that's something that was showing me that was something that came up before I started doing the activations. And it just showed me all of the ways that we are connected to whatever is out there, and we can have a direct line of wisdom. And the earth codes, the ease and grace, cooperation, collaboration, abundance, and sovereignty are the best way to describe what's there. So a lot of it is when you dive in, it's more of a feeling, but they're the best words that came through to describe what's there. And it's
Mm.
available for everybody, and it's the truth of what is here that everybody gets to receive. And the rest of the information that I got was that there are basically false codes that are here. They've the coding has been turned inside out, so that the way we're operating, instead of with ease and grace, cooperation, collaboration, abundance, and sovereignty, we're operating with greed, hoarding, power over others, and fear and
Mm.
lack. So we're being conditioned to believe that there's not enough, that this is a lack planet, that greed and hoarding is normal, that there isn't enough for everybody. Therefore, we need to hoard. If we give up power to others, which is really false power, it's power outside the self instead of empowerment. It's power over others. That if we don't operate that way, we can't get ahead. We're not going to survive. It's this mad scramble to gather everything up so that we can be abundant, but it's not real abundance. It's all created out of lack. And we can ignore all of that and focus on what's real, which is the ease and grace, the cooperation,
Yeah.
and abundance and sovereignty, and we can enhance it and bring it out. And as we do that, these old systems that operate through greed and hoarding and power over others and lack, they cannot continue because there's not enough resonance.
Mm.
This is a big reason why I do the earth activations, is because I feel like it's really a fast track to change and to shifting what's here. And you can bring those codes out, spread them through the earth grid, which is the human grid, which is the universal life force grid. You can bring them all out and enhance them, and it benefits the rest of humanity, whether they know it or not. And it begins to make those institutions and systems fall apart. My
Yeah.
favorite example is the food system, which is all about, okay, if we don't have enough food, there's not enough food on the planet, we can't grow enough without doing artificial processes. Instead of operating the way nature operates, we we try to control it and manipulate it because there's not enough. And people are all going to starve if we try to do it some other way, which is not true. And the
Mm.
way they're doing it is going to create, it's going to create collapse and starvation if we don't separate ourselves from that. And there's all this trucking the food around, growing it far away and moving it somewhere else. When if we just cooperated with where we are and enhanced what we had where we are, then we would all be able to grow something. So
Yeah.
anyhow, the banking system, the pharmaceutical system, all of those things are about fear and lack and uh, greed, really. So those things don't get to continue to thrive the way that they are. I think that some of them have capacity to shift into something else, though
Yeah.
I'm not so sure that they all do. So, that's what I wanted to share about earth energy. I was given other things, different meditations for self-discovery. But when it comes to earth activations, those were the things that I learned over time, because that same group of codes kept coming up and out, and the order that they came in started to become a pattern as well. And now I'm just inspired and motivated to help the planet by doing these activations. There was a time in my life where I was doing one almost every 3 or 4 days. I'm not doing that as much lately,
Mm.
but I'm ready to get back into it and um, start actively participating again in creating the paradise that used to be here during times I don't think we have any historical records of times where people actually were collaborating and cooperating,
Mm.
creating so that everybody had everything that they could ever dream of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Um, yeah, so I guess it's like creating and sort of live events, like places to meet. Um, and also, is there a way that we can do it individually? Um, what would be what would you advise, like the best or easiest way to like connect with the earth?
Well, if you know how
So,
to connect with something, you can connect with the earth if you've done it.
mm,
I do have a process, and I am going to schedule an activation so you'll get
yeah.
to experience how I begin. And then it's all about just opening up and being open to listen and getting in touch with your own way of your intuitive knowing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you already know your intuitive knowing, if you know what it feels like, if you've been doing it for a while, then you can connect and you can do one of these. And
Mm.
um, so the next thing that I schedule will be an earth activation. I'm not sure what I get to activate yet. Um,
Yeah, it'll come to you.
it
It'll
will.
come to you for sure. It's so beautiful. It's basically related. It's your relationship with Mother Nature, isn't it? And knowing that you are adored and needed just as much as we need the earth,
Yeah,
and it's the
exactly.
reciprocation. When you said earlier about how she's just, she's like waiting for you to acknowledge her and and rekindle that relationship, and then that will obviously bring on the way that we farm and the way that we harvest and grow things, and it will be, yeah, it's just
Yeah.
reconnecting, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, well, when you come to experience the earth as a conscious being that
Mm,
loves us and cares about us, then it it changes your response to the earth and how you receive from her. And if you listen
mm,
deeply, then then you know that when you operate through an energy of stewardship as opposed to the power over others, like we're supposed to have
mm,
power over the earth. If we operate in stewardship, which is cooperation, collaboration, then abundance naturally flows. It
yeah.
flows from the earth. And I feel like every kind of resource we can imagine comes from the ground, everything.
Mm,
So, time and money and opportunities and doors that open, because the support is there. The earth says, "Oh, hey, here's somebody who cares about the connection. I will support
yeah.
that. I can support that." It's the earth is willing to support any of us. It's
Hmm.
just that it can't unless we're in the proper alignment with it. Just like with anything, it's the same for whatever you want to call. Oh my goodness. That is a dog.
I want to see.
Oh, now I have two. They both come. Jeez.
Oh no, you have
Oh.
more than one.
I do. I love them, but oh my god, they must have got excited.
Oh, that's funny.
I'm
They're
They feel
adorable.
you. They feel you, Amanda.
Anyhow, I don't really remember what I was saying, just that let me see
sorry.
if I can grab it back. Just that, oh yeah, it's just like anything. So for me, nature really speaks to me. Other people, it could be the angels, or or it could be the ETs, or it could be, whatever it is, it's still the same everything. I walk out in nature and I see evidence of the divine all around me. And it teaches me the things that I need to know uh, to conduct myself while I'm here, and gives me messages of how everything should be easy. I mean, it's easy for nature to
Yeah.
support itself.
Yeah.
So all of it should be easy. Everything that we do should be easy. I even look at the business that I just got out of. I just sold my environmental laboratory, and the laboratory is great, and it works for wastewater treatment plants. But I don't see the way we supposedly clean water as the way nature would do it. And it's certainly not easy, and
Mm,
we're ready to use the water. It's certainly not alive. It's not.
mm,
We put dead water inside of us.
Yeah.
yeah.
It should be easy. So I don't see wastewater treatment plants as the future of water use. Anyhow, that's one of my examples for, what nature tells me of how what the ease and grace is. Just let it
Yeah.
do what it's supposed to do. The water knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's trusting, isn't it? It's having like trust. When you look at everything in nature, it's robust, it's delicate, it's growing and then it's dying. It's doing everything constantly. And if it doesn't find one way, it'll find. And you see like little flowers growing out of walls, and I'm just always like, how did you get there? Like they're just like, I'm growing out of a wall.
Yeah.
It's just like nature is so strong, and a lot of what the products that we have in the pharmaceutical, well, all the drugs in the pharmaceutical industry, they come from nature. Like the structure of whatever heals us comes from nature. So yeah, that's why those structures will fall apart, won't they?
Right. Exactly. Yeah,
Because they
exactly.
weren't reciprocate. They weren't in a cooperative or abundant cycle. Like you were saying, ease, grace, cooperation, abundance.
Right.
That's
The
if
pharmaceutical
you
industry does it
yeah,
the way. They copy what's already there.
yeah. So that so brilliant. I've got like a billion things to ask, but I'm gonna wait until your next until your next one.
Okay. Well, you
It
can have
was
one.
yeah, they're just right now all the questions are like bubbling, and I just don't want to like hit you with a load of words. But yeah, I think I just want to go out right now with no shoes and socks on, and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just go for a nice walk.
You can actually measure your own. My free meeting will end in 10 minutes. Okay. I'll answer this question. Well, it's not really a question. I'll just respond to this statement.
Yeah.
You can actually measure your own electrical field when you're barefoot on the ground and see how it's different. And you can measure it
Mm,
when you are on your computer, like you're touching your computer or holding your mouse, and you can measure it when you're not, and it's different.
mm,
So the electronics that we have, it interferes with our own electrical field.
mm.
The ground puts us, in that, and the more time we spend on the ground,
Yeah.
the better we'll feel physically.
Yeah, I used to dance a lot when I was younger, and like the lycra that you wear when you dance, like the outfits that you wear, they would get static and like stick to me. I'd be tap dancing and doing like loads of friction and crazy stuff. And then I'd just take all my clothes off and I'd go out into my garden, and the static would just like if I went back inside, I wouldn't be like electrocuting people.
Yeah.
The little
Yeah.
statics and stuff like that. Um, yeah,
I've
amazing.
I've read accounts from people who were in the argument for grounding, who actually took off all their clothes and laid down on the ground,
Mm,
um, and stayed there for an hour or more. And in doing that regularly, their physical pain went away.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. We're
I
an
try and get
incomplete
into
circuit
walk.
when we're not
Sorry?
connected. We're like an incomplete circuit when we're not connected. So the circuits are closed when we're not
Yeah,
grounded. So we get
yeah.
yeah.
A build. Did you say a build up? Sorry, it cut
Yeah, a
out then.
buildup of electricity that's meant to be cycling through us
Mm,
and back up and so forth. Yeah,
yeah. Wow. Stunning.
yeah.
I want to come to wherever you are. Where are you? No, Kentucky. I'm coming to America in like a few weeks, so
Oh, where are you going to be?
I'm coming to Crestone,
Oh,
Colorado.
that's right. You're going to, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm like super free. I can just get in a car and drive to you
Kentucky is
or a
a
plane.
good 3 days
Oh,
drive.
is it? Being in England everywhere is like 3 hours.
I know.
Well, I'll just get a flight. I can get a flight. But yeah,
Yeah, I
I
mean, if
really
you
want
want
to
to
come and
come,
see you.
I'd love to meet you. I'm not going to make it to Crestone. I wanted to, and I was waiting to see what would happen. And I just was able to meet with attorneys around my sister's estate. My niece and
Mm,
I have been trying to get this together. And after talking to him 2 days ago, I realized I can't really pick up and go anywhere in June.
yeah.
I have to deal with legal stuff. So
Yeah, it's just not the right time, but
yeah,
there is going to be more, we're going to be we're all here now and connected in the way that we are and developing our friendships and relationships. So yeah, we'll find the time. And yeah, I don't know how long I'm going to be in America. Like, I really want to move to America because I'm just like, there's just so much there that I'm drawn to.
maybe
So
you
yeah, I'll
have
probably be around for a few months.
maybe you have according to your zodiac, maybe you have some energy lines here.
Mm,
So I
yeah.
know I didn't really have much in California where I came from, but out here I have a lot. And I've always
Yeah.
loved England and I have a lot there too. So
You
whenever
are always
I go
welcome
there, I
to,
feel like I'm at home.
yeah, you're always welcome to come and visit. If I'm in England, you can always come
Yeah,
and,
and I will. I've made it to England and Wales, but I've never been to Scotland and I've always wanted to go.
oh, yeah, let's go see Lee. Yeah, Scotland's amazing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think the place is it's astrocartography, isn't it? Your astrocartography, the grids
Yeah,
that,
yeah, I think that's
yeah,
probably it. Yeah. So if you know
yeah,
where your lines are, a bunch of mine run through that part of the world, and the rest of them, a good portion of them run through here where I am now.
yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Might have to do a an event on that.
I don't know too much about it. Maybe somebody else in the group knows.
Yeah, neither
Yeah.
do I. That's what I'm saying. I'm like putting it out there into the into
Yeah.
the field.
We put it out there.
Yeah.
I don't want us to just all of a sudden get cut off. So we have just under 5 minutes. So
Okay.
I wanted to let you both know that I appreciate you being here. And Farah, it's lovely that you managed to show up for so many things. I really appreciate that. Uh, and I can't wait to put this thing in the put this put the Zoom in the event so other people can watch it. And
Yeah.
can't wait to do an Earth activation with you all. I don't even care if you're
Yeah.
here.
You know what it is though? People will get it. You
Yeah,
know,
people will get
it's
it.
it's it's
Yeah.
the intent is everything, Amanda. Your intent is everything.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Um,
both.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you both. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
hey Anna, it's lovely to see your face. I know my face is not up, but
Oh
yeah,
no, okay. Yeah, no, I can't wait. I am gonna go to Crestone, so I hopefully get to meet you. Well, not
yeah, you
hopefully, I will
will.
meet you. It's a bummer, Amanda. I won't get to, but like you were saying, for timing is everything. So
Mhm.
I'll work out here
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
this is amazing to to be able to come on to Zoom and connect with you guys and through the app. But just with this and your sharing, I appreciate this so much, and you taking the time to come on here and share your knowledge with us. I love that. So
It's
thank you.
fun. It's fun.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It makes me want to do it more and more.
See,
Yes, I love it. I adore you, Amanda. You're
I
such a
adore you
legend.
too. All right, ladies. I will see.
All right.
I'll see you.
Thank
I'll see you in
you.
the app.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.